Okay, you guys, I want to talk to you about something here. I want to talk to you about what happens when you open carry and the reason why open carry is a good thing. Not that you have to do it all the time, but you should at least do it sometimes. So I want to point some things out with you here. Okay, you start to open carry. You start to open carry and you head into a grocery store. People see you in there all the time. You're open carrying. Gas station. You become familiar around a gas station, a coffee shop, hardware store. Even around police, you become familiar with the police because they see that you're open carrying. Walks that you go on, parks that you visit, fishing on shore. And these are just some of the events right here. Now, there is some places where you can't open or concealed carry, and that's understandable, like schools, post office, government establishments, stuff like that. But what I want to point out to you guys is this is where concealed carry only has a downside to it. And what it is if you take the public at large, if you only conceal carry, the public doesn't know anything about you. They don't know that you're a gun owner. They know nothing at all about you because you don't have a gun on your hip. You're not open carrying, okay? Whereas over here, if you do open carry, what the general public gets to know about you, which is positive, is they get to know that you're a responsible person. They get to know that you're safe, you're polite. Normalization, which means that it happens so many times that it becomes normal. People see it as normal. It calms the Kens and Karens, and that would have to do with normalization. If you do it enough, the Kens and the Karens that were usually worried about seeing a gun on your hip, they now know that you're responsible, safe, polite, okay? So even though they don't like it or they're anti-gun, at least their fears are calmed and they're not as worried. They go, yeah, we don't really like his gun, but I guess as long as he doesn't hurt anybody, that kind of thing. And that's where trust comes in. Over a long time, you'll have trust of the people where they might not like seeing you with a gun on your hip and stuff like that, but they know that you're not a threat and they're not worried about you as they were before. Another thing is it educates people on rights that we have, like the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. Now, if I have the right to bear arms, why would I want to hide those arms? Does a bear hide his claws? No. Okay. So even out in nature, we see that animals that have weapons, they don't necessarily hide their weapons. Okay. So what you do is you educate the public on the rights where somebody in their mind, they'll think to themselves, wow, that person's open carrying. I didn't know that somebody could do that. See what I mean? So now you're educating the public so that they themselves might want to have a firearm and carry a firearm out in public now that they know that they have the right to do that and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that you always have to open carry. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you always have to concealed carry. But what I'm saying is that concealed carriers, what they've been doing is they've been calling us idiots. Okay, a lot of them have been calling us idiots, the concealed carry only crowd. And somehow that we're going to be a victim because we have our gun and somebody's going to pull the gun, from behind us and stuff like that. But those of us that open carry, we know the risks associated with open carry. We know that we have to have good belts, good holsters with good retention. We know that we must have situational awareness. And we know that there's certain places where we shouldn't be. If you're talking about the hood and stuff like that, well, what do you need to be down there for anyway? So in other words, there's certain places where you shouldn't be, even if you are armed, that you shouldn't be. Well, don't go there if you don't have to. And the other thing, too, I'd like to say is that concealed carry only people, when they call us stupid and they bash us, what they'll do is they'll generally show a picture of a guy that gets, that's got a gun in his sweatpants and it's hanging out and it has a crappy holster or something like that, where it's flimsy and stuff like that. So what they'll do is they'll use them open carriers that carry their gun like that as an example for the rest of us to show why we shouldn't open carry. Well, that's a stupid thing to do. That's building a straw dummy. So what people do is they use the worst example to try to prove why the rest of us that do it the right way shouldn't open carry, which is totally stupid if I think to use the worst of the open carriers to try to define what all of them are like. That's just not true. There are millions of open carriers that go to gas stations every day and are in even dangerous areas and do just fine. And of course, you have to have a situational awareness about you, and you have to be confident while you open carry. If your demeanor is a scared, nervous type demeanor, then I recommend that you don't open carry because you're not ready for it. And if you look fearful and stuff like that, well, of course, you could probably be a victim because of the fact that you're not confident in your open carrying. You have to be confident when you open carry. You have to know the risks involved. You have to know what kind of situational awareness you need. You have to know how to have a decent belt and a good retention holster. You have to know where to put the firearm, and you have to keep your eyes peeled and have the proper position of the firearm so that somebody can't come up behind you and grab it. Now, most retention holsters, you can't just pull at an angle and get the weapon to come out. Good retention holsters, you have to go straight up, and sometimes the tension is so strong that it's really difficult for somebody to just come up behind you and grab the gun. And a lot of these popular YouTube channels and some of these famous YouTube channels, as a matter of fact, people that have been in the firearms industry for decades and people that are famous and stuff on YouTube and stuff, they often bash people that open carry. But what they do, once again, is they use the worst example of somebody that open carries, like I said, with sweatpants and a gun hanging out halfways, and then standing at a counter not paying attention, bent over, and then some guy comes and grabs the gun out of the sweatpants. Well, that open carry guy is stupid, okay? There's stupid people that open carry, and there's stupid people that conceal carry. So it's both. On both sides, you can find the same thing. Now, the thing about attacking or robbing a person or a business or something like that, what they tend to say is that if you have a gun on your hip and you're open carrying, that you're going to be the first target they take out. That's not necessarily true. Because if you look at a person that's confident that open carries, and over here you have people where you can't see a gun on them, even if they are concealed carrying, they look like an easier victim than somebody that has a pistol on their hip. So I'm not bashing concealed carry people, but what I'm saying is that what I'm seeing is more concealed carry people bashing open carry people. More concealed carry saying we're idiots and stupid and fools. And I don't hear it on the open carry side. I don't hear it on the open carry side, any of them calling concealed carriers stupid or idiots or anything like that. So I think what we have to understand, folks, is that whether you open carry or concealed carry, it's a personal choice. And just because somebody's a fool and wears sweatpants and doesn't have a good belt or a holster, that doesn't necessarily mean that's me. So you can't put me in that category because I'm trained, I'm aware of the risks. I have a good belt, I have good retention, I have situational awareness, I know where I'm supposed to be and where I'm not supposed to be. I know where the danger places are. I know to stay away from certain places if I don't have to go there. I mean, let's face it, folks, I'm not going to just go into the hood for no reason at all in a dangerous area. I'm not going to just walk into a bar and start trouble. And when I know that there's a lot of fights in the bar, I ain't going to go there. Okay, I'm going to avoid places that are trouble. I'm not going to go into these places. And a lot of times these concealed carry only people, they show examples of a guy in a bar or some guy in the hood with sweatpants with hardly any type of a holster, probably like a McDonald's fry box or something. I don't know, man. Just some crazy holster you can't even identify, something, from Walmart or something like that that's been used for 10 years. And then having it hanging out of his sweatpants. Well, does that represent open carriers? No, There's millions of open carriers every day that have good retention holsters, good belts, have situational awareness, have their eyes peeled, and they know where to go or not to go. And because of the fact that they open carry, it makes them more situationally aware, even more than a concealed carrier. Because when you're a concealed carrier, you don't have to be as situationally aware, because you don't have anything that's, you don't have any risks that are involved with somebody. For instance, if they see a gun on your hip and stuff like that, they obviously you blow your cover and they know that you're armed, whereas concealed carry, they don't know if you're armed or not. But the thing is that you don't have to be as situationally aware. Usually the open carry people have to have some extra situational awareness. And that's why I think sometimes you need to open carry so that you can experience what it's like to open carry, experience what it's like to be around people like this, so that you can establish with the public that you are a decent person, okay? That you are responsible, you're safe, you're polite, okay? That they can trust you, that you know the law, and you can also educate them on the rights that they have. It calms down Kens and Karens, because you see, folks, when the anti-gun people and the people that are for gun control and all that, at least if you can calm them down to the point where you can be out in public open carrying, where it's normalized, okay, at least you can get the majority of the population to leave you alone while you open carry. Whereas right now, if you hardly open carry, what that means is that the public isn't getting used to you being a gun owner, because they don't know anything about you. They don't know that you're a gun owner. All they see is a pair of jeans, okay? But the public should know that you're a gun owner. They should know that you could be trusted. They should know that you love your Second Amendment right and stuff like that. Now, the thing we have to understand about gun control people is the first thing that gun control wants to do is, guess what? They want to abolish open carry. That's the first thing they want to abolish. Some states where a guy might strap on an AR-15 out in the public, what is that? That's open carry. That's his constitutional right. In that state, if they allow that, it might not be forever. There might be a time where they say, okay, no more open carry. Okay, once they abolish open carry of rifles and handguns, what's next, folks? Then they're going to abolish concealed carry. Okay, what's after that? Then you're going to either have to use your handgun or your firearm, rifle or whatever it is, for only home defense. Or if you take your rifle or handgun, you'll have to go to a range, okay? Only to a range to shoot your gun, okay? Outdoor or indoor range, where you have to have the gun unloaded and you have to have the magazines unloaded in a separate place. Now, do you guys want to go through that? I don't. So what we need to understand is we need to open carry more, if anything, so that we can educate the public, so that we can get them used to us knowing that we are responsible, safe, polite, and that they can trust us. Okay? Now, the reason I'm picking out these is because they seem pretty good as far as picking out some things that the public can gain from us, being that we're decent people. So I believe that when a concealed carry person says that you should never open carry, I simply reject that. I think that is kind of like a little tiny bit of fuddery, or FUD, as you would call FUDs and stuff like that. And it's a little bit anti-constitutional. So I don't think that somebody that says a statement like that you should never open carry, they're not in line with the Constitution of the United States. They're not in with the freedom that our veterans died for. Our veterans and our freedom isn't for free. And if we have open carry rights, we need to show those rights. If we have the rights but don't use them, then they died in vain. So we have to use the rights and display them rights. Do we have to display them rights out in the public all the time? No. You can concealed carry in some cases, and then other times you can open carry. But if you're always concealed carrying, the public, the general public, isn't going to know anything about you. How does the public get to know you? By you open carrying, because you're carrying a weapon. You're carrying a device that's lethal, okay? And if the public can trust you with a lethal thing like a handgun, okay, and they know that you're responsible, that you're safe, that you're polite, and that they can trust you, what that does is that calms the public sphere, which are the Kens and the Karens, and it gets everything so normalized, okay, right here, normalized, that society accepts open carry. Whereas a government that wants to destroy your Second Amendment rights and the Constitution, what they want to do is they want to abolish open carry altogether. And if you're abolishing it by yourself, by never open carrying, then they're just going to go for it because they know it's the first thing they can do to have gun control and take away your constitutional rights. So they're going to stomp out open carry first, then they're going to go concealed carry. And you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. So this is why I believe that you should open carry. I'm not saying you should do it all the time, but you should open carry for these reasons that I'm listing right here, so that the public can get to know you better. If you don't ever interact with the public on any means at all, then they have a big question mark about you. They don't know who you are, so you're concealed carrying, and they don't know anything about you. Whereas over here, they go, well, this guy's great. You know, I don't really like guns. I'm not really for guns, but you know what I noticed about this guy is I noticed that he's responsible, that he's safe, that he's polite, and that I can trust him. So when he comes around, I don't have any worries about it. You know, do I like guns? Well, not really. Do I mind him being around? Well, he's cool. He's legit. You know what I mean? So the general public gets to know you. And if we create a society of people that understand that we are decent people, us that carry guns, then what that does is it makes it more likely that they won't pass laws to stomp out our rights. And one of the laws they're going to start with is you can't open carry, then you can't conceal, and then it gets worse and worse and worse. Why not show the public, even the ones that aren't for us, why not show them that we can be these right here, that we can be responsible, safe, polite, and that they can trust us, and that we can educate them on the Second Amendment and about our Constitution. A lot of people don't know very much about gun rights. A lot of people don't know hardly anything about the Constitution the way it is. I think all of us need to keep reading it so that we can learn from it and really get it set into our head what this Constitution is about. And also remember the veterans. Freedom isn't for free. The reason why I can open carry is because some veteran put his life on the line for me so that I can have the freedoms that I have right now in the state of Minnesota. And I will exercise this open carry freedom because the veterans died for it. I'm going to exercise it. Why would I put to waste a right that I have that the veterans died for? Why would I put it to waste and not use it if it's there? If it's there, I'm going to use it. You know what I mean? And concealed carry only people, what you need to do is you need to stop calling us idiots and fools and stuff like that. You're going to get yourself killed, and stuff like that. Stop doing that, because open carry people aren't doing it to you. They're not calling you idiots because you conceal carry. They're not saying that you're going to be a victim because you're concealed carrying, okay? There's pros and cons to both open carry and concealed carry. For example, the kind of attacks that are happening today, like on the street in New York and different things like that, where you'll see on videos where somebody just comes up to you and they start shooting right away or attacking right away. If you open carry, not all the time, but many times a person will be able to have a faster draw and get the gun out faster. Whereas a person that's concealed carry, you might have a little bit of time where you're going to have to, peel away your jacket or your shirt or something to get into your appendix or wherever your gun is located. And the thing is that when it comes to attacks, like for instance, like carjackings and stuff like that, I would bet you that your gun, it has very fast access when you're in your car. that you have some kind of cross draw method or something, or even your gun is out of your holster, I would bet. So for open carry, one of the advantages for that is, yes, it's quicker and you can access your gun a lot faster. And then those on the concealed carry side say that somebody could grab your gun. Well, yeah, they could. But once again, how are you carrying your gun? Do you have good retention? Are you situationally aware of people around you, and that kind of thing? Okay, because there is such a thing as an open carry guy that knows what he's doing and doesn't know what he's doing. So, and then of course, concealed carry. Of course, nobody knows that you're carrying, so it's a surprise if a person wants to attack you. Chances are, hopefully, you'll be able to get the gun out fast enough to use it or to prepare yourself. But that's not to say that just because a person open carries that they're not looking around and they're not aware of their surroundings, because there's been a lot of open carriers that have saved the day and have stopped criminals and suspects from doing things, and even used their firearm in defense situations. There are many open carriers out there today. I don't think a lot of people understand in the United States how many millions of carriers there are that open carry every day and don't have gun grabs and aren't the first victims and stuff like that. So a lot of times what they'll do is they'll try to make it look like concealed carry, that you're going to be less of a victim than you are with open carry, which there's no evidence to support that. I think criminals, they don't care whether you open carry or not. Sometimes if they say, well, this guy's going to be a target because he's got a gun, so we got to take him out first. Well, what about a person that looks like they don't have a gun? They're an easy target too. So you're going to be a target by some criminals no matter what. If you open or concealed carry, they're not going to care anyway. Okay, some criminals are hardcore and they're just going to go for it anyway no matter what. But I think you're more likely, if you have a gun on your hip, that they're going to go for you, a concealed carrier. And granted, like I said, you might be able to produce that handgun quick and get it out and things will be okay. But they're looking at you because of the fact that they don't know that you have a gun. You look like you don't have a gun. So you're more likely to be a victim and easier to rob than somebody like this right here. Because a robber, if he takes a chance on somebody that's confident that open carries, he knows that you're going to try to draw on him. So why would he take that chance when the easy pickings are people over here, which would be the ones that don't have a gun? But concealed carriers, you don't know if they have a gun or not, too. So just because you're concealed carry, it doesn't mean you're not going to be a target because they see you as a person that doesn't have a gun. But you still have to have situational awareness so that you have enough time to get the gun out of your pocket or wherever you got it and move your jacket, move your t-shirt or what have you to get it out. So no matter what, even if you're concealed carry, they could still want to attack you because they don't know if you have a gun or not. They think you're unarmed. So you're just as likely to get attacked this way as you are open carry. I would think that it'd be more concealed carry. People would get attacked first because of the fact that they don't know if you have a gun. The only time they know if you got a gun is if you have it out. And if you have the gun out, then you're the same as an open carrier because the open carrier's already got it on their hip and it's already out. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching, you guys. Appreciate you.